Good morning. Good morning. Good Monday morning. I hope that you are doing well. I hope you guys had a great weekend. Let me know what you guys did this weekend. Did you guys do anything fun? So, my husband has been looking for this Target exclusive like toy. I think it's like He-Man, Masters of the Universe. So he's looking for this toy, and we've been driving all over Missouri and Kansas to go find it. So we drove over to Kansas this weekend. Didn't manage to find it, but I did find a book. So I thought that was really interesting. Hey Tina, good morning. I had no idea that Target, this is how mainstream spirituality has gotten at this point. Target is like a step above. If you don't know what Target is, it's kind of like a step above Walmart, like, it's like Walmart for Republicans, basically. Good morning, good morning. So Walmart is like Democrat blue, and then Target's the Republican red. That's not really true. I mean, it's just, like, what they say. That doesn't mean that just because you shop at Target, you're, one way or the other. I thought that was morning. Hi, Dalia. Good to see you. Good morning. Anyways, we didn't find it, but I did find, and believe it or not, some Targets have a metaphysical section. I was really surprised. So I got the lunar year. Isn't that such a pretty cover? So I have three parameters for all new books that I buy. All right. That I actually keep out and, like, display and have out. One, I'm only doing hardcovers. 2024 is the year of hardcovers for me. I'm not getting paper covers anymore. Hardcovers only. If it doesn't come in hardcover, I'm probably not going to buy it. So, and then I really like the books that have the gold foil now. So pretty, right? And then it has to be metaphysical. So, anyways, this is the lunar year, moon magic through the seasons through Allison Davies. So I got into this weekend. I made a big pot of soup, kimchi soup, and I got into this, and it's really a cool book because um it's separated by the season, so it's separated like per month. And so it's a really easy read. That's what I really like, is really, really easy reads, because I like to be able to just open a book, get some information from it, and then, put it down if I want to. I'm not the type of person to like sit and read for like 2 hours. I've just never been that person. It's probably like an ADHD thing or a neurodivergent thing. I probably just don't have the like attention span, right? Now I can sit down and write my own book for like 6 hours, but I can't read someone else's book for 6 hours. Anyways, but it talks about like, it has a new moon ritual. It talks about like the animal for the month. So January is rabbit, and then it has like a full moon ritual, and then it talks about like, and it was so weird because the universe is like always like this with me. Like, it always puts me on these interesting and unique paths. But so the food for January is cabbage. The works, they have metaphysical books. Okay, cool. Yeah. It's interesting where you're gonna find metaphysical stuff now. It's really, really neat. But it has like spelled, and interesting, it was cabbage, and I made some kimchi soup, and I was like, well, you know, that's serendipitous. I was sitting there eating a bowl of kimchi soup and ended up, that's the food of the month, and it talks about the deities and things like that. But anyways, great book. Pick it up if you can. MSRP is 21.99. UK 14 pounds. They had it 30% off, so I think I got it for like $15. So I that's the new book I got. And so that was pretty much what I did this weekend. I just made soup and read a book, and that was, great, because we've got like, we're a week and a half into consistent snowfall. It's gonna snow tonight, it's gonna snow tomorrow. So like, we are at like almost 2 weeks of completely being snow locked. So, going out and doing things is not really easy right now. So, hi everybody, welcome. I'm glad that you guys are here to join us. My name is Christina Quick. I am also known as the Tarot Biz Mentor Online. I run the academy called the Profitable Psychic Divination and Business Academy. I've been a professional psychic now since 2011. So, working on what, 13 years or so. And I started out as a tarot reader, like many of you guys started out as a tarot reader. got on the psychic hotlines and then moved from the psychic hotlines to Etsy and then moved from Etsy to having my own business. Then moved from doing psychic readings to spiritual life coaching, specialized that for a little while. And then from there, I became a psychic business coach. And so now I pretty much help people who are tarot readers, psychics, astrologers, any kind of occult sciences, or alternative spirituality or holistic kind of health and wellness. I mean, we have people who are fitness experts. We have Ayurveda people in here. So we have massage therapists. There's an eclectic bunch here at the academy. And what I do is I teach people how to market themselves online. I teach you business models. I teach you how to get clients, and I teach you importantly, I teach you how to kind of shift in and out of different phases of business. So you're joining me right now on the Profitable Psychic podcast. This is a segment that we're doing called Monday Magic in Marketing, where every Monday, 10 a.m. CST, 11 a.m. EST, I come on for about 20-30 minutes, which is lately it's really been more like 45 minutes because there's just so much to say about marketing and magic and doing this thing in a way that feels in alignment with your spirit, your soul, your beliefs, your values, and where you actually want to be in your business, what you want your business to do for you. So that's what I do, and there's a link at the bottom here called www.theprofitablepsychic. It will forward you to my divination academy and business academy where you can kind of look at the different offerings I have. There's free courses, there's low cost courses, there's premium courses. So wherever you're at, whatever kind of commitment level, what kind of budget you're at, there's something for everybody over there. So today we are going to be starting on episode 9, and today we're going to be talking about the decision fatigue and like overwhelming potential prospects and potential clients when they're trying to shop with you, but they're not exactly sure what to buy. And so there's this big disconnect that happens between who you are, who your business is for, your offers, how amazing you are. But there's this disconnect when it comes to communicating that and doing it in a way which markets your business effectively, which means basically increases your sales and helps you fill your books. Because in the beginning, so most of the people here are going through this particular path, which is they want to work one on one with people, and then they want to start working it from there. They want to start doing like group classes or getting into workshops, starting to create this passive income model, right? Because they realize at a certain point you can only make so much money doing one on one. Your time is really limited. Even if you're charging, $400 for a session, that's still a limit of how much money that you can reasonably make in that amount of time. And I know that, like, $400 for like 90 minutes of work is really life changing for a lot of people. Don't get me wrong. I mean, you can continue the rest of your life like that. And, maybe you don't get burnout. Maybe you don't get tired. And maybe if you're lucky, you don't get sick. And maybe your kids don't get sick. And maybe your parents don't pass away. And, all these things that happen in our lives that make it so difficult to stay on track when you are self-employed. Yeah. Camila says, I feel like when I go to a restaurant where the menu is thick as a book, I'd pick the restaurant with a seasonal daily rotating menu with only 4 options. And it's interesting that you bring this up because I was actually thinking about this. So there's this Vietnamese restaurant that I go to all the time, and they have such good food. But like you said, their menu is like 4 pages long, and they have everything from Chinese to Japanese to Korean to Vietnamese to Thai. Like they have a whole bunch of it's like a Pan Asian restaurant, and I go there, and I have once in a while I'll try something off the menu, but I always go for the pho, right? Because that's what I associate them with, and that's like what I'm going for. So even though I tend to be open to other different menu items, I really only tend to go and get like one thing that I'm completely used to. Once in a blue moon I might, go outside of that. Now there's this other restaurant that just opened up like within the last 2 years. and they are a restaurant, and it's so funny you bring that up because I was thinking about this yesterday morning, and I was like, and I only go to the pho place, like, maybe once every couple months, but I try to go to this other place at least once a week. Why? Because they have, like, a rotating menu every, I think it's every season, so every 90 days, they do a different menu. So when you go in, you only have a couple things to kind of choose from, like, there's a couple appetizers, a couple entrees, a couple desserts, and that's pretty much it. It's like you have a very limited, selection. And, obviously, their prices are probably 5 times the amount of the other Vietnamese place, right? So, I say this because people who are purchase different in different ways. Like, when I want something just cheap and good and consistent, I'm gonna go to the pho place, right? Low commitment. I'm in there for 20 minutes, I get my soup and I'm out, like in and out. But if I want to have an experience, if I want to have a luxurious kind of experience, I'm gonna go to that other restaurant, and we're probably gonna stay for up to 2 hours, and we're probably gonna have a bill around $300, right? So, it's like thinking about how your menu system, because you are a restaurant, right? You are the bakery, but it's just putting it metaphorically in different terms, so it's a little bit more mundane. So we kind of get squirrely in the brain when we start trying to put together our menu of services and products in a metaphysical or spiritual or witchy kind of business model. We tend to like, because it is a holy thing. It is a spiritual thing. Don't get me wrong. It's a very elevated it's not just like a restaurant. It's something more important than say a restaurant. It's definitely spiritual in nature, and it's for the betterment of everybody involved, right? Because we're doing light work where we're helping people transcend limiting beliefs, transcend their shadows so that they can manifest the life that they want to live, so they can get out from the thumb of fear and out of the thumb of cultural conditioning and programming and all those things that keep us from actualizing our highest potential. And truly, I feel like actualizing our highest potential is not like even it's not even as crazy as, "Oh, no, no worries. Hey, good morning. Thanks for joining me." So it's not even as crazy as all that as like, becoming the next Tony Robbins or becoming the next Louise Hay. It's not even that crazy. I really feel like, just simply actualizing our highest potential is finding the path of least resistance that makes us happiest. If your highest potential is I'm realizing my highest potential right now is not to get on a stage and not to do, speaking engagements and things like that. It's not even to travel, nothing like that. I don't even want to do that really. I want to have a nice, quiet existence. I want to have easy, slow mornings. I want to have beautiful gardens and I want to grow flowers and I want to grow food and I want to grow medicine and I want to have time for my spirituality and my witchcraft practice and I want to collect art and I wanna go antique, like, there's this I used to think that my highest purpose was like, okay, get published, start traveling around the world, that kind of stuff, and that's good for some people, and that some people really truly want that. But your highest purpose is really just what's gonna make you the happiest right now. What's gonna make this existence the most tolerable? Because after a certain point, let's just be honest, it becomes work. After about probably 5 years into the game, you're going to notice that, "Oh, my business doesn't feel so magical anymore. It doesn't feel so spiritual." Why? Because we're dealing with returns and refunds and cancellations, and we're dealing with the, masculine side of it, like learning how to build sales pages, learning how to send out newsletters, and, the technical aspects of it, and so we get so down into the rabbit hole of the technicality of it and increasing like the brand perception and the value that we kind of lose our magic a little bit. And one of the things that really I struggled with because like I said, I came from the psychic hotlines and then I came from Etsy as well. So now if you're not on Etsy, let me just kind of explain something just really quickly for you. On Etsy and on search engines in general, it's about quantity, not quality in most cases. So if you have a blog, Okay, it's about how many blog posts that you have are relevant to that person's search, and that's what's gonna push a blog up, a link up, in the search engine. In addition to that, like, paying for ads to kind of help boost your position and stuff like that. There are certain things that you can do, and then you can, kind of focus on. Hold on, just 1 second, guys. Yeah, Diane. Being a cottage witch, right? Freedom over time, and that's what I think what everybody is really ultimately looking for is freedom over time. Why do we want, to be millionaires? Why do we want to have a solid savings that we can rely on for retirement and stuff like that? I plan on when I'm older, that's when I plan on doing the traveling and all that kind of stuff. Right now, I would just want to focus on having a nice, quiet life. And so when we're coming from things like Etsy or the psychic hotlines, or we're coming from like running our own website where we're trying to get pinged on like relevancy of our posts because we're trying to get traffic to our website, generalized traffic, which doesn't necessarily translate into sales. Okay. So that was one of I can't tell you how much time I wasted on that. Such a waste of time trying to get your placements and trying to get your traffic up on your website, waste of complete time. Okay. So there are some things that we can do in order to make the sales process and make the buying process a lot simpler. So, whereas we're playing with things like algorithms on Etsy and Google and our own website, when we're trying to sell on social media, the landscape is quite different. There's a difference in how people consume content as on social media being Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Pinterest, TikTok, all of these places, right? They operate on a vastly different algorithm than, say, a website through Google does or on Etsy. On Etsy, it's about having all of the listings so that the algorithm views you as, relevant. So, when you're coming off of that and you're learning, you're trying to like drive traffic to your own offers, which is typically, when you post on social media, your call to action is going to be something along the lines of going to a website, or what we call not just a website, but going to what we call a landing page, because we talked about landing pages last week, right? So some type of landing page. So depending on what your call to action is, whether it's to opt into your newsletter to get a free gift so that they are on your newsletter and you can send out promotional materials and educational materials, whether your call to action is on a sales page, or whether it's on an event page, wherever, basic, or a PayPal buy a link and all that kind of stuff, like paypal.me or um, any of these other, Ko-fi, any of these other ones things. Mm, Skylar, oh my goodness, I'm so sorry to hear that. She says that she lost access to her account. And when that happened, she had someone hack into her account and they probably posted a whole bunch of weird stuff. And then all her clients were like, well, this is weird, so they unfollowed and stuff. And so your ads have been disrupted as well, which is, that's, I hate to say it, but losing your ad account is probably one of the, especially on Facebook, because you really can't get that back. It's really almost impossible to get that Facebook ad account back, and it sucks. Um, yeah, it was awful, I'm sure. I believe you, and it's not just you that this has happened to, and and that's why I personally went with the paid Facebook link. So I pay like $15 a month, and basically what that means is that I get a little blue check mark, and yeah, there's 0 customer service, right? Okay. Yeah, I know. It's awful. I've been, knock on wood, I've been pretty lucky with my ad account, and I have like authenticators out the wazoo. I have multiple phones that have different authentications, and I have, different phone numbers, and I have different hidden email. Just trying to turn on that double factor, triple factor, quadruple factor that you can, and that will help a lot, especially. If you're doing it, doing it over phone, a phone number that is not listed anywhere. That's a really good way to kind of help protect your account. I know too little, too late for you now, right? But even with authenticator, sometimes they can get in, and it's very, very scary. So when you're going to put out content and you're going to instead of like so one of the big mistakes that I see is that people just like say, "Hey, this is a post I see all the time." Okay, and I'm not trying to like bring anybody down. I'm not trying to make an example out of anybody, and I'm not like talking badly about anybody that does this. I'm just saying that this is not an efficient use of your time or energy, or it's not an efficient marketing. But this is something a post that I'll see is like, hey, they'll post out like, hey, I'm available from this time to this time. Book your session now, or book your reading now, and they'll just like give a link to their basic website, and they'll have like 30 different readings on it, and that's cool and well and all, but it's not efficient. It's not really talking to anybody in particular. It's not really even that interesting or entertaining. I mean, so maybe I'm a potential client, and maybe I'm off that day, or maybe I don't have work that day or something. My kid's sick or something, and I'm like, oh well, just gonna sit here and scroll on Instagram, and then I see, one of these people that I follow on Instagram is available for reading. I click on their website, and by the time I've read through the fifth offer, my kid's like, I'm hungry. And so then I have to go make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich or something like that. So what can we do in order to meet the clients where the clients potential clients attention span really is? Most of the time people who are surfing on social media looking to buy, or who are open to purchasing at that point, the attention span is much much shorter than say browsing a website or something along those lines. People, why do we check in on social media? Now this could be kind of difficult for you to think about, because we tend to work on social media. So we're on social media quite a lot, right? We're returning client messages and fielding questions, um, doing maintenance stuff in our groups, putting out content, things like that. So we tend to be on Facebook, and we tend to have time to kind of browse and things like that. But you have to think about, what is the lifestyle of the person in which I am trying to attract their interest, right? Most of the time, most people, if you are, just really trying to fill out your one-on-one spots, and this is kind of where I'm getting at. Like if your one-on-one spots aren't filled up, if you are not charging at least $200 an hour, if you are not seeing, anywhere from 3 to 5 people a week. If you're let's just say if you are not making at least 3 to $4,000 a month, just maybe 5,000 off your one-on-one appointments, and your one-on-one is the one that you're trying to do the most, what I will tell you to do is I will tell you to create a new client offer. Your new client offer is going to be the single one thing that you promote on social media, right? And I know it can feel like, "Ugh, I keep posting the same things over and over again. People are going to be so bored reading my post about, my new client offer." But frankly, I would post it at least once a day, maybe even 3 times a week at minimum, and finding different ways to put that new client offer out there that is also piggybacked on some kind of interesting content. So if you like to do short videos like skits, and use viral sounds and things like that, make sure it's related to whatever has to do with, filling up your new client offer, getting that new client offer out. And your new client offer, I talk about this in Lux Lightworker. We have a whole, 1 to 2 hour training on just setting up your new client offer. It has a workbook and everything. But I will give you some basics behind it, because it is, we could talk about this for a while, what goes into a new client offer. But basically what goes into a new client offer is it is a meet and greet session with someone. It's kind of like a paid discovery call. So if you've ever heard the term discovery call is where you meet with someone, to usually for free, to find out and field if they are, sometimes they're called coffee chats. And I'm vehemently against discovery calls and coffee chats, though I do see where they can be useful. But again, I don't think overall they're a good use of time. because you could just log into the psychic. Why do you have to work for free at all? Why would you work for free at all? Right? When you have all of these other options out there in order to gain that income. Good morning. Good morning, Deborah. Good to see you. Good morning, Josephine. Good to see you. So, if your one-on-one offer or your one-on-one spots are not full, meaning your book is not full, you're not regularly seeing 3 to 5 people a week, then your new client offer is the one and only thing that I would love to see you guys posting about. Okay. So we talked about like doing TikToks and skits and things like that. So at the end of every description of your short videos, you should have a link that goes specifically to your new client offer. That link is going to be like a sales page for your new client offer. Your new client offer could be anything from a one-on-one session at a discount, right? New client session, you can do like 20% off. That could be like your buying motivation. That could be like what pushes the needle to get people to purchase because they see it's 20% off for new clients. Even better than doing 20% off is doing some kind of like added bonus. So I always recommend that if you're going to do like, if your new client offer is gonna be a package, say you wanna do like a 3-session package for like $1,200, which that's about what the industry standard is. Right now, it's about $1,200 for a 3-session package, and that could be in 1 month, that could be over the course of, a couple weeks, that could be over the 1 session a month for, 3 months, however you kind of wanna set that up for yourself. Or maybe you know that 3 sessions is not enough for most people for what you do. Maybe you do really, really like deep shadow work, healing work, that kind of stuff. And you need those extra sessions for like integration processing. Or maybe you are kind of like more witchy where you need an opportunity to kind of like do spells for people or do prayers for people and things like that. So kind of like however you choose to build up that new client session. But instead of doing a discount on it, what I highly recommend, because do you really have to discount your work? You don't really have to. But when you start putting together things like workshops or ebooks or workbooks or like a video series or something like along those lines to bump up the value of what you're selling, that is always going to move the needle better than say 20% off. Because what would you guys rather have? Would you guys rather have 20% off or would you guys have, okay, so let's look at the math here. So let's say you're charging, let's just for math's sake, let's just say you're charging $100 an hour for a session. So 20% of that would be $20. So would you rather have $20 off of a one-on-one session or would you rather have a 6 video series worth the projected value of $197? So the $197 free digital course, 6 videos, and that's something that you give as a bonus when you're doing your new client offer. That's going to be much more enticing and motivating for people to purchase that. And then you don't have to work for free. You film the course once, you all you got to do is send the link out, right? So why would you work more for less instead of just creating a digital asset to bump up the value? Because you can, whatever you want that value of that digital asset to be, it's whatever you want it to be, right? So is anybody getting ideas from this? Is this clicking for anybody, right? So instead of like posting a new offer every day, I would love to see you guys streamline your social media posting to always trying to fill up that one-on-one slot. Because then once you get to the point where your one-on-one slots, yes, okay, good. Once you fill up your one-on-one slots, then you can get to a point where, okay, now I'm not worried about chasing clients every day. I'm not worried about where this daily income is going to come through and even sending ads to your new client offers. So if you created one sales page, if you only had one page on your website, it's your new client offer. You could have a one-page website that's just your new client offer. And it's just a really great sales page that you can send ads to on Instagram, Facebook. Now, if you want to do it on YouTube, then you have to create some sort of value-based content in order to do that, right? Because YouTube is where you can promote your videos. So maybe you put out a video. So maybe you're a psychic development coach, all right? And you specialize in helping people connect to their spirit guides or something along those lines. And so maybe your new client offer is a 1 hour session that is based around helping that person like connect to their spirit team, doing a spirit guide reading with them, maybe doing a little meditation where they can visualize their spirit team, telling them, psychic ways that their spirit team's gonna connect with them, and then also like uh you could also do something along the lines of, like, adding in maybe, like, 3 to 5 videos of a course on different types of spirit guides. So maybe your spirit guide one of your videos is about angels, maybe one of your videos is about ancestors, maybe one of your videos is about extended masters, maybe one of your videos is about fat forms, or if you're more on the witchy side, maybe, or angels, demons, or maybe even familiars, or how to create your own thought form spirit guides, which is a little bit more advanced. But there you go. I mean, that's 5 videos right there that you can say and perceive that the value is whatever that you want it to be. And so that could be your new client offer. And then from there, you can upsell them into different things, because then they've already established that relationship with you. So after you do that one-on-one session with them, you can follow up with them in 2 weeks and say, "Hey, I really enjoyed working with you. I really enjoyed our session. I think I can help you much more than what we got done in the one session. Are you open to maybe doing a 6 session package with me where we can go deeper with this, and then kind of field their interest. And they're basically their questions are going to be um, how much, what kind of commitment level is this gonna be involving? Like, are you gonna be giving me homework? Are gonna be checking in with me? A really popular package that people really tend to like is 6 sessions over the course of 3 months with messenger support, right? And so that's gonna probably be more in the 4,000, $5,000 range. So that could easily be your 5K, 6K package right there, is 3 months, 6 sessions, messenger support, and maybe you also offer, like, some additional metaphysical services, or maybe you, offer a monthly reading in addition to that you just record and send them. So, just thinking about ways that you can simplify the process of selling and making sure that, we kinda come from, like, the Walmart mentality, right? Where it's like, "Oh, I gotta have one of everything to attract all the peoples." Well, think about this for a moment. If your business suddenly went viral and you've got readings for spirit guides, and you've got readings on love and relationships, and you've got readings about how to manifest your twin flame, and you've got readings about um, chakra healing and things like that. If your business went viral, and let's say you had 50 new readings booked overnight, and there were all these different kinds of different kinds of readings and things like that, you would be ping ponging and you would be getting so tired so fast. So one of the ways that you can conserve your energy and not ping pong between these different clients and different types of readings that you have to do, is to really simplify. Okay, who do I want to focus on helping? Break the year down into quarters. Who do I really want to focus on helping? What kind of session do I really want to focus on doing over the next 90 days? And that's going to be my new client offer. So seasonally, you could absolutely rotate out your offers. So maybe, January through March, you want to focus on helping people connect with their spirit guides. Maybe April, May, June through June, you want to focus on helping people open up their chakras. And then, it becomes more targeted, because when you're just posting out random stuff every day and it's not really speaking to anybody, and you're just kind of putting out a link to your website, it's just nobody's really interested. Nobody's taking interest. Nobody begins associating you with that thing, right? So when they get to a point where they're ready to purchase and they look for you and they see all this other stuff that's not related to that original offer that they were interested in, they're like, "Oh, well, I don't know. I can't remember their name, and I can't this doesn't look like I thought this was the person, but this doesn't look like the person," right? So what I'm telling you is that if you can commit to 90 days minimum, 1 year is better. You can commit to 90 days minimum, pushing out your new client offer. I promise you, you will fill up your books. So that way, once all of the your one-on-one sessions are booked, then you can kind of pivot your energy to something else. Okay, well, now that my one-on-one sessions are booked and I'm not wasting a whole bunch of time trying to get clients, because how many of you will sit at your computer for 2 hours, 3 hours a day trying to get a client and then don't get a client, and then you sat there and you worked for 3 hours and you got absolutely nothing out of it, right? So when you get to that point, when your one-on-ones are, good, then all that empty dead space that you used to spend on your business and not get anything out of it, you can start reserving that for things like creating digital assets, like creating your courses, creating your books, creating other things, doing other things that you want to do rather than sitting at your computer watching the screen and wondering where all your clients are. Yeah, right. Hi, Annie. Good morning. Amila says, do you recommend only keeping the call me on hotline buttons on our homepage, not on our new exactly. 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 And because here's my belief on that, okay? Jamila, this is my belief on that. My belief on that is that if you are going to do the work to drive your own traffic to your own website, why in the hell would you give them the psychic hotline for 50, 60, 70% of your commission? Why would you do that? Right? Instead, if you're going to do that, go sign up for oh, what is it called? You guys help me out. Click for Advisor. Go sign up for Click for Advisor and you get a higher commission. They don't drive traffic to you, but it's like having a psychic hotline on your own website. So you still get the benefit of being able to do that call me now type of situation, right? Um, and then get paid for that, but you earn more and you're not giving 60 to 70% of your commission away on your own marketing that you're doing for your own business. So personally, what I would do at that point is I would have two different pages. One for your high end offer, right? Your higher end, multiple $100, possibly multiple thousand. Click. Yeah. Hold on. Let me. Hi, Kirsten. Good morning. Let me type it in the comments. Hang on, or if someone can type that for me. It's actually called click number 4 advisor. ADVISOR. Okay. So I put it in the comments. It's click 4, number 4 advisor. But and that's one of the older ones. There's other ones out there, but they're just not as good and they charge a higher commission fee because they're prettier and they look prettier and things like that. And this is just a very simple either call or chat, right? And it's a very simple interface. But I want to say you give them 20%. So I wanna say you make 80%, which is significantly better than, doing the psychic hotline version. And now if you are going thank you. And so if you are going to do, if you do wanna, like, put out oh, yeah, I see. So yeah, there's that as well. So if that's, hey, if that's working for you, then maybe what you could also do is you can create another sales page where it's a sales page specifically because you have to think, are the people who want to purchase premium chat? Yes, that's a good one. That's a good one. Um, that's also a good one. Premium chat. Thank you. Great suggestion. Um, so you have to think about the person who's buying those services. Is the person who wants to talk to you now to get that instant gratification, pay per minute, get those answers right now, right now, right now? Is that the same person that's going to buy your new client offer, that's going to wait 2 weeks, a month in between sessions? Sometimes there's intersectionality with that. However, although it makes sense to you, it makes sense in your brain, it's not really the same demographic, is it? There's a different buying motivation. So we want to keep on our sales page, we want to keep the buying motivation, the reason why the buying intentions, the reason why someone is purchasing, we want to keep that very, very simple and straightforward. So I would have two sales pages. One is going to be your new client offer, and that's going to be directly related to talking to copywriting wise the person that you really want to work with for 6 months. Do you really want to work with your hotline clients for 6 months? Most of the time, no, because they drive you crazy, right? And then having another sales page that is more, the copywriting is more about getting the instant gratification. Call now. You can get answers to your questions right now for a premium fee. Does anybody have any questions about anything we've talked about today? So if your one-on-one sessions are not booked up, I want to see you posting at least once a day, at least a couple times a week about your new client offer. And I want you to really, instead of creating memes in Canva, instead of creating a blog post this week, okay, I want you to go in and create a sales page. Now, watch the last video because the last training I talked about the 5 key things on a sales page. Okay. So if you haven't watched that, go back and listen to that because this is basically a follow up to that. This is going to help you how to make your sales page more of a sacred space, how to organize it and things like that. You're welcome. Okay. So we are going to be next week talking about, I am pretty sure. Hi, Kiana. Good to see you. I'm going to be talking about solving real world problems. Okay, good. Thank you so much. She says, these ideas are rich. I love my magical Monday with you. Thank you. What if you want to promote your course? Did you promote one thing only? So if you're going to promote your course, then that should be on one sales page alone. So if you're going to, so here's the way you do it. Okay. So if you are going to do a course, but you also need to fill up your one-on-one slots, then do a bundle deal. Don't take money for just the course. Do a bundle deal where, or do it like tier it where, okay, they can get the course for $200 or they can get the course plus a one-on-one session with you for $500. Or maybe they can get 3 sessions with you plus the course for $1,200, right? So think about, okay, what do I really need to do? I need to fill up my one-on-one plus I want to sell this course. So create your new client offer as a bundle, like an upsell. Yeah. Yeah. Like an upsell. Yeah. You can do like tier 1, tier 2. So tier 1, just the course. Upsell, the course plus a one-on-one session. Yeah. Right. I have my links to Keen reviews on my link next to the one-on-one booking. Should I stop it? No, that's okay. That's fine. That's okay. What you could do is take those reviews, make them into beautiful stylized images for your website, change them slightly, put them into like chat gpt and like just copy and paste a bullet point, like ton of them, and then just put it into chat gtp and say give it the command to change this 20% or change this 30%, and then create like images in Canva so that like yeah, I mean you could put your keen links and that's totally fine, and that's like your social proof. But you could recycle those reviews and then put them up on your website to make it more branded and cohesive that it's part of your brand. You guys, you know why I'm smart is because I've made a lot of mistakes. That's the only reason. Okay. Well, you guys have an amazing. When you asked Keen, they said no. Oh, that's weird. Well, so then, okay, so then if they said no, if you could recycle your readings, yeah, you can. Yeah. Yeah, you need to recreate them. You're welcome. Those are yours, babe. You should use those exactly how you want to use those. Just change it like 30%. Right. I mean, they can't. They can't. They can't. And so, just put it into Chat GPT and say, like, hey, change this 30%. Um, and there you go. It keeps the same idea and maybe just make up a name for them or something, because your reviews are your reviews, whether you have the person's name and image and all that kind of stuff. I mean, you should be able to use those. All right. So next week we're going to be talking about am I going to be here next week? Oh, you know what? I'm not going to be here next week. Okay, we're going to be here on the 5th. So our next session next week my husband's taking a couple days off, so we're going to have a 4-day weekend together, and we need to go do things like go down to the courthouse, and we got lawyer things to do. So I will not be here the 29th, but I will be here on the 5th. We're going to talk about how to solve real world problems. So, if you struggle conceptualizing like what your one-on-one session is actually helping people do, if you struggle with coming up with like the copy writing around how your one-on-one sessions help people or like what is the tangible benefit of working with you, we're going to talk about that next week. And so I'll give you guys some ideas about how to get people interested in your offers by up leveling your copy and getting it more towards the mundane. Because if your copy is way too spiritual and it's too much spiritual jargon, it's unrelatable. So how can we bring these high level concepts and these benefits, these spiritual benefits, and how can that apply to our regular everyday life? Because that's going to be more interesting and more enticing to someone who's interested in our services, right? All right, you guys have a great week. I will see you on the 5th. See you on the 5th. Bye.